Bradbury and Michael Muldrew. Good luck to Kim Swanson, your new principal, and thanks to Richard Kahn and Captain Lobel and Pete Malinowski. Thanks for the tour earlier today. I am here for a couple of reasons. First of all, this school represents to me the promise of two ideas that I cared a lot about. When I was president, I spent years talking with the late Senator Daniel Patrick Moynihan about what could be done to give Governor's Island back to the state and the city of New York so that it could grow into something really important and at the same time preserve the important role that Governor's Island has in our nation's history. So in the last few days of my presidency, I declared the part that's now run by the National Park Service, about 150 acres, a national monument, which is like creating a national park, but you don't have an act of Congress to do it. The president can just do it, and they've done a great job. The rest, we agreed, would be transferred under terms that hadn't been worked out to the state of New York to be jointly overseen by the state and the city. That happened 2 years later, the same year the Harbor School was founded in Bushwick, 2003. 7 years later, you guys show up here in 2010. So the first thing I want to say to all of you who are so much younger than me is sometimes it takes too long to make a great thing happen, but it's worth it. The second reason I'm here is that the Harbor School commitment to the Billion Oyster Project, with lots of partners, and you heard Murray list all of them, the people who've given money or supported the project, the other schools that are involved, represent what I think is the promise of the 21st century. It's creative cooperation. If you pick up the paper any day or you watch the evening news, you know all about all the troubles of the world. The troubles in Ukraine, the troubles in the Middle East, all the heartbreak that happens. Every place you read about trouble, you think about this tomorrow. It's because people have chosen conflict over cooperation. Because people believe that what our differences are more important than our common humanity. 10 years ago, well, 9 years ago, we're about to have the 10th Clinton Global Initiative. I made a bet that people all over the world were longing to create a positive future for their children, for their countries, for their environment, and that if given the chance, they would come together and do amazing things. Most of the publicity the Clinton Global Initiative has gotten has come from big things we've done in very poor areas around the world. Millions and millions of more young women having a chance to borrow money and start businesses to help their families. Farmers farming less than an acre of land, tripling, quadrupling, quintupling their income. Procter & Gamble giving out now more than 7 billion packets of a little water purification package that costs a dime and can give a poor family of 4 clean water for 3 days. But this is important for America too. And there is literally no better example than the Harbor School. You just think of all the people who've made this possible. The faculty, the government agencies, the non-for-profits, the businesses, the universities, and the students. What you're doing here to me is truly remarkable. There's all this debate, constant debate. It's been going on now for 30 years in America about how we can improve education to reach the highest standards so that you will be prepared to compete in a very competitive global economy. And we found one of the big answers on an approach that really our whole country more or less abandoned decades ago. And that is in combining the development of practical, usable, deeply needed skills with academic education. For the people who are covering this today who may be unfamiliar with Harbor School, to me the single most important thing in terms of the rest of your life is that every single one of you will graduate from high school with a certified ability to perform in one of 6 maritime areas and enough academic credits to get in a 4-year institution. That may seem like something that's self-evident to you. It exists almost nowhere in America, but it does exist here. I saw it in the students who picked me up in the boat and took me over today. I saw it in the students who explained what they were doing in planting the oyster bed. I saw it in the class I just attended, talking about how to grow the algae to begin to nourish the oysters. I've seen it every time I've read anything about Harbor School. I don't want to put any more pressure on you. You've got a life to live. But you do need to understand that you are participating in something here that exists nearly nowhere in America, where you literally will be able to walk out of here with a certification approved by industry and experts in one of 6 areas that will make you a relatively rare hot commodity and enough academic credits to go to college. You'll be able to do both if you want. If you want to go to school at night, you'll be able to switch in and out of careers over the course of your life. You'll always have something you can fall back on, and while you're doing it, you can always be proud that you helped to restore the ecostructure of New York Harbor and all the other places these oysters are going to be planted, purifying the water and protecting the environment for the future. It's a lesson that I hope everyone will learn. That's why the Secretary of Education came here, Arnie Duncan, and why so many other distinguished people have come. Everybody sees what you're doing. They know you asked to come here. They have enormous hope that somehow, not only will your lives be immensely fulfilled, not only will you have a good time and learn something, but that somehow the rest of us will learn from you, from this example. And so, the most important thing I can say is, as we come up on our 10th Clinton Global Initiative, there is no place in America that better exemplifies the world I want to leave to our children and grandchildren than this school and its partners. You just remember this. Every place in the world, people are working together across racial lines, religious lines, economic lines, to create shared prosperity, shared opportunity, a sense that we all belong to a community where we're trying to help each other and make something good happen. Every place that's true, something good is happening. And every place in the world where people are committed to constant conflict and believe they have to define the worth of their lives in terms of somebody else's life not being worth as much, bad things are happening. Whether it's around the corner or around the world. You literally represent the positive side of the decisions that billions of people all across the world are going to have to make in the next 20 years. The whole future of the world is riding on whether we decide that what we have in common is more important than our interesting differences. And that puts an obligation on all of us to have shared opportunities, shared prosperity, assume shared responsibilities. That's what you're doing. Besides that, what you're learning is, I think, inherently interesting, and I know it's inherently important for our nation's future. We probably can't prevent now some of the adverse consequences of climate change. So we have to try to keep the worst from happening and build resilience into the system. Purifying this water, diversifying the ecostructure, and building these oyster reefs is going to protect New Yorkers that are not even born yet. You are already helping future generations while learning interesting skills and opening a limitless path to your own future. I thank you for letting me take a little time away from your school day today. I wish you well, and I'm going to do everything I can to get more schools to copy you. I thank the New York City school system, the AFT, and everybody else in the school system for realizing how important this is. And I can only hope that all over our country, people will do the same. Thank you, good luck, and God bless you.